Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so please put it on presentation mode. How many hours or minutes do I have?
I think we can have, let's say, like 30 to 40 minutes, and
Okay.
we'll answer some questions thereafter.
Okay. I will try not to exceed that, and if I can keep it shorter, I will try.
Okay.
But I think we should just start right away. So
Okay.
good evening, everyone. My name is Oyebanji Omole, or some people call me Oyegoke Omole. I am a training and development professional of more than 15 years experience. My career has seen me work in manufacturing, financial, medical, and maritime industries over the last almost 20 years, basically. So in a way, I consider myself privileged to be part of this session today, and I would do my best to share my personal experience with you. So today we are not going to have that long talk around careers and the rest, but we're going to try and be practical, less theoretical, but largely practical. And I would hope that you all can, in one way or the other, give me insights, basically. So let us start with what you are hoping to take away from this session today. You can drop your message in the chat box quickly, please. What are you hoping to take away from this session? What are you hoping to take away from this session today? Please drop your message in the chat box, or if you want to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak, please. I want us to be as practical and participatory as possible.
Okay.
I see something around job hunting.
Message. Yeah.
All right. Okay. More.
You can unmute and talk. Okay. Look at him.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Henry.
Best way to make your resume marketable, to get more insight into every opportunity available in the job market, networking and searching for multinational jobs, insightful lecture into job hunting. Any more? To receive guidelines on how to be gainfully employed. Okay. Well, maybe I should just go ahead. Akim, can you please help me put it on a presentation mode?
Okay. Okay, can you see it now? Sorry.
No, not yet. If it's on is it on presentation mode with you?
Yes.
Good. I can see it now. I can see it now. So let me first of all burst your bubbles. What I see us do here is that a lot of us have tried to put the cart before the horse. And if you do that, you may continue to slow yourself down. one of the first things we must always try to understand is the key issues. Once the key issues are fixed, the rest of the issues are fixed. I can tell you without fear that God has been very faithful, and that in the last let's say 15 years, I have never gone one day without a job. In fact, I have never been out of job since I left the university. And it's not that I've done something special. All right. So I will tell you what I've done. Then it is easy for you to see how it works with you. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so today in this session, you will learn how to distinguish between a job and a career. I see a lot of us looking for jobs. Then how your job can also affect your lifestyle. What I didn't put here that you would also learn today is what the current world of work requires of us. When some of us left the university, and Akim will remember, it wasn't this difficult. You didn't need to know how to use the system in those days. You didn't need to know Excel. You didn't need to know how to do PowerPoint presentation. You didn't need to know data science or data analytics or anything. Just come, you will get the job. But today, it's different. It is different because the requirement of the workplace is different. The number of people being pulled into what you will call the job market has increased. So you could have 10 Ayubas with the same level of degree. How do you choose only one? Put out a poster, a job post on LinkedIn or any platform today. You would have at least 100 people applying for that role. How does the recruiter know who to pick? Those are some of the challenges job seekers these days face. The available positions are very narrow and the competition is extremely high. I didn't put it there, but I will touch on it. Can you go on to the next slide, please? So go back to the next one, the one before that. So the first question is, why do you need to work? Why do you need to work? Can you put something here? Let me see. Can you respond? Why do you want to work? Why do you want to have an employment? Some of you can say, is it not glaring? Shouldn't he know there's a reason I want a job? But I want you to put something there. Let me understand. Some people want jobs just for the sake. They don't need the money. Some people want jobs for the money. Some people want jobs for different reasons. But why do you think, why do you, Adenike, Said, Taino, Kazim, why do you want an employment? Let's drop our response in the chat box, please. To earn a living and self-development. Taino, yes, good. Thank you. To make a living, career growth and development. To earn money and contribute to society. Good. To meet your end means, okay, it's a means to an end. You want to earn a living, basically. Good. To become an entrepreneur, primarily to earn a living and build a career to be able to feed my family. Wonderful reasons. Wonderful reasons. Go to the next slide, Akim. Wonderful reasons. And the question you want to ask yourself is, are these reasons enough to want a job? So what you're saying today to me is, Abdurrahman, if money is not a problem for you, you don't need a job. I like Henry. Henry wants a job so that he can contribute to the society. You must first of all understand your reason for wanting a job. And it has to be very clear, because if it's not clear, it's easy for you to get just any job, and that's the end. And what you see is that you keep struggling, you are capped, you have capped yourself. All right? That is why I want to understand why you think you need an employment. And the kind of job you get would determine how you would live. All right? I've had to work in a factory as a factory manager in the past, and it impacted how I lived. I've had to work in a more organized setting, and it impacted how I live. I'm working in another industry now, and it's actually impacting how I live, how my lifestyle is arranged. So the kind of job you get, your future projection for yourself would determine a lot more around what your lifestyle will be. For instance, if you want to be an expert in financing, in finance or investment banking, for instance, or investment generally, it will be difficult for you to get that done if you take a job as a customer service officer in a bank. But because the investment banking job is not coming, what do you see us do? Let me take what is available. At the moment you take what is available, you still keep looking for the investment banking job. 1 year has gone, 2 years have gone, 3 years have gone. Before you know what is happening, that dream is gone. So this session today, we will try as much as possible to give ourselves some insight into how we can map ourselves ready for the kind of opportunities we want. So my next question to you, and I want you to quickly answer me, is what kind of job do you want? Now, I asked you, why do you want a job? Okay? You said you want to earn a living. So what kind of job are you looking for? Quick response, please. Data analyst. Good. I like that. Data analyst. Next one. Tino. Very good. Quick response, Tino. Who else is coming up? A tech job. What kind of a tech job? There's a Java engineer. There is a quality assurance tester. There is Flutterwave engineer. There's so much. Which exactly do you want? Ralph, you need to be more specific. Who is next? Who is next? For me now, I want a remote job to give me chance for other things. I said data analyst as well. Good. But for you, Bernard, why do you want a remote job? Why do you want to do other things? Why do you think you cannot do other things with a full-time job? Henry, good. You want an accounting job. Irrespective of the software automation tester, good. Ralph. So irrespective of any kind of job that you want, one of the most important things you must now understand in our current world of work is that the demands are different. Whether it's surveying and valuation and the rest of, for instance, in surveying now, you must understand the is it geoscience or something around that? You must be able to use all those your softwares now these days. So irrespective of the kind of job you want, the world of work is totally different from what we know or what we knew in the past. In addition to that, the world of work requires a different approach. And I'm going to talk about that as we go on. Cost and financial analyst. Good, Adeshola. The world of work requires a different approach. almost 20 years ago, about 20 years ago this year, when I left the university, I had a job waiting for me. I did 5 years there and I've been moving ever since. But now there is no job waiting for anybody. Now the challenge is the requirements are totally different. I recently recruited about 11 graduate trainees into my business, the company that I currently work for. And the major requirement we asked for was that the persons or candidates must be tech savvy, must have an idea of technology, must have an idea of systems, must have an idea of internet. We didn't have all that. So it's now difficult for anybody who is not tech savvy in any form to get a job. How many of us are on LinkedIn? If you're on LinkedIn, just say hi. Let me see your hand. One, two, three, four. Okay, good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me try and bring all of us out. Good. Okay. Good. If you are not on LinkedIn, you are not ready for this current world of work. Because that is one of the biggest spaces where opportunities are discussed every day. Go to the next slide, please. Every day. So if you are not on LinkedIn, as simple as it sounds, you are not anywhere. You are not existing. And forget those days. In the olden days, they will say, oh, people who did not go to school, maybe they got, they employed those who went to school. It's different, oh. If you are not on LinkedIn, it's going to be tough for you to see opportunities. That means you'll be buying newspapers or you'll be subscribing to different job boards online. All right? And that's the foundation. So talking about the world of work, you must start to ask yourself, where do I want to see myself in 10 years? Early in my career, I took a job that was outside my career plan for myself. And it was a problem for more than 3 years until I had the opportunity to move. So these days, it's not just about getting a job. It's about the job must align with where you see yourself. All right? And that's the first one. The second one is that all of us will not get full-time opportunities. That's what I mean by full-time employment. Some of them will come as contracts. Some of them would come as remote work. Some of them would come as hybrid. Some of them would come as projects. Some of them would come as full-time physical work. So you must first of all, in a way, let your mind accept the possibility that there are different ways of getting employed. It's not just the full-time sitting in the office and going to work every day. Some people only go to work 2-3 times a day, and they're able to have time for other things. And that is why I asked Henry, or was it Henry, that talked about remote work. I asked you, why must it be a remote work? So if you get something that gives you 2-3 days a week, physical presence at work, you will not take it. All right? What kind of work do you want to do? Start to think, and I'm happy to see that all of us, we are able to say what we want to do. So if those are your interests, then you start to align your thoughts and your development around what interests you. As a rule, your degree no longer matters. It only creates like a footpath into the door. It doesn't open the door again. Your degree helps you to be, for instance, shortlisted for an opportunity. It doesn't open the door for you again, even if you make a first class. What more do you have on top of your degree? For this person that wants to be a software automation tester, for instance, Ralph, what do you need to do to be a software automation tester? It's beyond having a degree in computer science. There are certifications.
Yeah. Yes.
Am I
yeah.
am I correct?
Currently, I'm on a software automation training now.
Good. Now, having done, when you are done with that, do you think that will give you a job immediately?
Yeah, it could give me a job immediately. Maybe I have to start from somewhere. But no, most people they want to maybe go to the top where they are starting. No, you have to start from somewhere to gain experience. But some of us, they will feel that maybe after having the training, you just have to go maybe for a job of maybe six-figure salary. No, you have to start from somewhere to build yourself so that you can defend your career in future.
Thank you very much, Ralph. In addition to that, and I'm going to use myself as an example for you. I've been in training since 2004. So this year makes it my 19 years in practical training. Recently, because I needed to develop skills in certain areas of training, if you check my LinkedIn page, Oyebanji Omole, you will see that I currently work with a particular organization in America. Yes, I work with them, but as a volunteer. I'm not paid anything. I devote about 3 hours of my day, every day at night. Once I get home, from between 6 and 9 or 7 and 10, I've devoted that to that company. What do I need to develop? I wanted to develop capacity in instructional design, which is a key skill in my field. Is it that I do not know anything about instructional design? No, but there are modern things that I need to know about that. So I had to volunteer. I volunteered 3 hours. If you multiply 3 hours by 6, that's 18 hours every week. If you multiply by 52, it will give you more than maybe 900 hours that I've put into that business every year or thereabout. So that is it. So a lot of you, when you get the opportunity, you've got the training, you've had the certification, you'll be looking for the job. It may not necessarily come. And that is why your interest and talent will make you very, very restless. I would expect that it makes you restless so that you are looking for an opportunity to just express it. So if they say, oh, we don't have money to pay you, would you volunteer for us? Volunteer. And there are a lot of volunteering opportunities online if you know where to look. Okay, that is why you must align your interest and talent with your career interest also. All right, go to the next slide, please. Okay, go to the next one. But before you do that, I'm sure all of us understand what talent is. Your talent or skills are those things that you are good at. If you are good at numbers, you want to focus on things around data science and the rest. If you are good at drawing, you want to focus on learning AutoCAD and the rest, and things that would bring out this opportunity in you. All right, let's move to the next one. So these things, this interest, and it's important we talk about interest because that is the foundation of the world of work. When you hear people like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk and the rest of them, you hear, when they dropped out of school, they dropped out of Harvard, though, not just any school. But when they dropped out because they wanted to only focus on only what interests them. Mark has never gone outside of everything he was doing in Harvard with his friends up till date. It has been the foundation of the so much wealth and success that he has had. Facebook didn't start when he launched Facebook. Facebook started way when he was in Harvard, before he dropped out. Same thing with Bill Gates. Same thing with all these guys. Interest first. There's so many opportunities in the workplace. There's so many opportunities in the world that if you do not align your interest with what is available or what you are looking for, you will take whatever they give you, and that's the beginning of struggle. And that's why you will see children going to the university to study law, to study medicine for the sake of their parents. And afterward, what do you see them do? Some of them go back to become tailors. I have a friend who is a medical doctor, but is a software engineer today, lives in America. Because he only did that to please the parents. After that, he started training himself in that area. And he did a lot of volunteering, did a lot of very small works until he hit it big time. All right? So it's important that you look at yourself, be realistic, ask yourself those questions, then start to look for how to develop yourself in those areas that interest you. But let me sound a note of warning here. Whether you're a musician, whether you are an engineer, whether you're a doctor, whatever, even a teacher, knowledge of data, knowledge of computer, knowledge of how the internet works is something you cannot play with anymore. It's something you cannot play with anymore. And let me ask you these questions. For those of us who watch Nigerian movies, how many of them do you see being sold on the streets again? How many? If you've seen any movie being sold on the street in the last 1 year, please say yes. If you've not, say no, so that I know how many of us have seen and how many of us have not. No. Good. Why? Henry, why do you think they don't sell on the streets anymore?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Henry.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, why they don't sell anymore on the street is because of the digital or the tech age we are in now. Most movies are being streamed online, Netflix, YouTube, and different media, and they earn good money.
Thank you.
Even with that,
Thank
they've
you,
been
Henry.
able to
So
avoid
they
the
look
issue
at
of piracy issue they're having before.
And the cost of production. So this is the life of an average Nigerian actor or movie producer. They will sit, they will write the movies, then they will look for finance. They will look for financing for the production of the movie. After producing, the person who finances it takes the bulk of the money. Usually, they buy the rights totally, but that's no longer happening. Even Nigerian musicians, they don't bother themselves again. It's because they check the numbers. Davido has almost 1 billion people online on his YouTube, following him on YouTube. Why does he need to produce a hard disk again? And he's making his money. So he checked the numbers. He saw that the numbers are better online than on hard disk. And the guy focused on numbers. So your knowledge of data, irrespective of where you are working, is key. Go to the next slide, please. Is key. If you cannot have any knowledge of data, start to develop yourself around it. And I'm very happy. I believe that's one of the things Akim has taken us through in the course of our sessions. Because that's the foundation. You must understand numbers. Where I work, all we look for is numbers. Numbers will show you trend. Numbers will show you opportunities. Numbers will show you where you are missing it. Then it's easy to fix. So everything you must have a way to align numbers to everything. All right. And for those of us that talked about earning a living, work is beyond that. Go to the next slide. It's much more than earning a living. It's more around something that drives you. It's more around something that you are proud of. It's more around something that you look forward to doing every day. It's much more around impact. Okay? So a job, people pay you for what you do. That's a job. A career is a longer thing. So you could be, for instance, you could be a chartered accountant like Akim. And I asked him, Akim, can you help me do my tax calculation for this year? Once he does it, no contract. He does it, I pay him. I don't need him again. But for him, that's a career because he keeps building his experience. He keeps building his knowledge. He keeps training himself, and it interests him. I've known Akim for more than 30 years in a funny way now. And I remember he was one of the first to become chartered accountants in our time. I believe he should be a fellow now or close to being one. So you can imagine that he has built his interest, his knowledge, and he keeps developing himself around data, around Excel, around finances and the rest. Why? Because he has built a life on it. You don't build a life on a job because it's temporary. It may come, it may not come. A career, you build a life on it because it's a long life of payment. It's a long life of learning. Okay? So those are the questions you want to ask yourself. This job that I'm looking for, can I build a career around it? Or what do I even want for myself? Because when you ask that question, it starts to form the way you think, what you need to look for. For instance, this person that is a Adeshola that is interested in cost and financial analysis, I'm sure he will be training in finance. He will be looking for opportunities to get certification. He will be looking for opportunities to get learning. And learning does not stop. You have so many opportunities now to learn than those days. You have Coursera, you have Udemy, you have Allison. These are learning platforms, free of charge, FOC, that you can use to quickly leverage and build up your gaps and fix the gaps in your learning. So as we go on to talk about jobs, we talk about careers, we talk about the world of work, the needs of the world of work, let this be at the back of your mind. Go to the next slide, please. Okay. So if you go abroad, for instance, a lot of Nigerians, when they go overseas now, some of them don't get employed immediately because they will need to get certifications, they will need to get experience to be able to work in those places. You see some of them washing plates, you see some of them packing snows, you see some of them driving and doing all that while they develop the capacity required to function at the level they want. All right? So you will see them doing several jobs. You see them taking up, you see somebody, you call him in the morning, he's I'm at work. You call him in the afternoon, I'm going to work. But you were at one place in the morning, yes, I'm going to another work. But let him get all the certifications and experience he needs. He now focuses on his career. You see the difference between the job and the career now? Job is temporary. It just helps to earn a living. It helps you to earn a living. But a career sets you for now and the future. Okay? That's why you see that averagely, an average American does about 2, 3, 4 jobs every day. Even in Nigeria, is starting. You see somebody has gone to point A as a security guard in the morning, and in the evening he's driving Uber. That's it. It's beyond here. It's for earning a living, but you cannot do that for long. You cannot do a job for long, because with a job it is difficult to grow. You don't need a training to do it. Okay, but with a career, your growth is assured once you do what is required for that profession. Please go to the next slide. Okay, I'm happy I'd mentioned that. Please go to the next slide. Okay, good. So let's look at some of us. Some people will call it summer job. Some people will call it holiday job. Some people will even call it internship. For those of you who are fresh graduates here, you could also look for opportunities for internship. They may pay you only enough to transport you, but what you will learn from it is more than what you will learn in 4 years in the university. So you must see it play out. The world of work is now totally different. In those days, you can come in as a graduate trainee or first level, entry level person. But now it's no longer like that. I remember some years ago when I had an engagement with a particular bank. They had like 5 levels of entry levels. ET1, ET2, ET3. Those are different years of joining. They are still at entry level. So do you think they are ready to take in another entry level person? So that's why if they offer you an internship, take it. If you're a fresh graduate, take it, learn. That learning would open up more doors for you. So far, what you are doing aligns with your career. All right, go to the next slide. Good. But before I go on, is there anyone who has a question? Unmute and ask your question, please. Okay, Abdurrahman, go ahead. Abdurrahman, do you have a question? Your hand is up.
I think he raised his hand when you ask them to type hi in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I've helped him to put it down. Then the hand must be paining him now. Okay. So do you have any question or comment before we move on?
No. Okay.
Okay, good. So what kind of opportunities do we have now? What do they look for those opportunities? Let me share one thing that is very funny with you. Years back, if you came out from the higher institution with an HND or a BSc, there is discrimination. If you studied English, you'll be looking for opportunities to work in a place where you'll be able to write customer service or write or edit things, or you'll be looking for opportunities in HR and things like that. All that has changed. All that has what? Has changed. They will say you must make a first class. If you make a first class, you'll be considered first. If you make a second class upper, you'll be considered next. Those who score 2-2 and pass and the rest, like us, they know they give us opportunity. All that has changed. You know why? You can study English and be a software engineer.
Yeah.
You can study Yoruba and be a chartered accountant. We used to have a teacher who studied biology and is a chartered accountant. So, yes, endeavor to get good grades, but don't rely on good grades alone. Keep developing yourself. Keep looking for opportunities to learn more, because what you have above the other person is what will make an opportunity for you. In fact, that is actually what job opportunity is. Job opportunity is not the available jobs. It is what you have above the other person that would help you to pick openings that are available. Because when you say job opportunities, it may not be an opportunity for somebody who doesn't have the requirements. Okay, somebody, okay, Wolabi, thank you. What advice do you have for me that I want to change my career from health practitioner to investment management? Good. So do you want to become an investment analyst, investment banker, investment advisor, or what? Whatever it is that you want to be, check for the requirements. You would have some of them. But those that you do not have, you now need to start to work towards acquiring those. Because for as long as you do not have the requirement for such opportunity, such job, you will not be considered. It's like me now. I'm an HR professional and I want to become a medical doctor or an engineer, and I do not go for engineering training. I will struggle. In fact, they will not even consider me, because there are several engineers already that they can pick. So why do they now need to worry about somebody who is not even trained? So you must get trained. And I'm happy because you're on the right track. You are doing something around data, but it's beyond that. You have to look like for opportunities in financial planning and analysis, investment. There are several trainings that you can start to go through for you to be able to look at getting such opportunity. And it's the same thing for every one of us. Like I said, your first degree, your first certificate helps to put your feet close to the door. It doesn't guarantee you a seat in the house. Your certifications, your knowledge, your experience, most importantly, guarantees you space. It is that experience that they pay for. The last time I applied, for instance, for a job was in 2014. Between 2014 and now, I think I've changed job 4 times without applying at all. So it's important that you build your knowledge, build your reputation, build your experience. Okay, go to the next slide, please. Okay, so for Daniel, and I'm happy, and it's good that we're now talking about lifestyle. Okay, the impact of doing what you're not fulfilled at on your lifestyle is that you live a very unhappy lifestyle. It may not be visible, you may not even know that you're unhappy, but you always feel one gap, one hole within you. You're always looking for something that you cannot even explain to yourself. That is the impact of doing what you do not love to do. So for an IT support engineer that is interested in data science, you want to be a data scientist, you must get trained. That's the first one. When you get trained, the second one is to look for opportunities where you can express what you have learned. And the easiest opportunity to look for are those what we call volunteer opportunities. It could be short term, it could be long term, it could be paid, it could be unpaid. There are volunteer opportunities that they pay you for, but they will not pay you salary. They will just pay you they can pay you for data. They can pay you for for the use of your time and things like that, but they will not pay you a salary. For instance, if you are a data scientist and you are training to be a data scientist, and there's an opportunity for a data science intern online, remote, for instance, and they give you the offer, they could tell you, they're not able to pay you salary, but you get a stipend or a moratorium of, let's say, that role earns like $1,000 a month. They say we can give you $300 a month. Don't run away from it. Don't say this role earns 5 million. You cannot give me 5 million, I'm not taking it. You have not earned that experience. You have not earned that right to demand for 5 million. So Daniel, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So what you do is get trained, then start to look for opportunities to express what you have learned. All right, so let's go on. The impact of your work on your lifestyle is that your energy, your time, and your resources are all sucked into your job. Before I came for this online, I was actually in meetings, from meetings to reviews on the job. And once I'm done here, I'm going back to it. So that's the way, and that's what your job does to you. So if you don't love it, you will struggle. Go ahead, Ralph.
Okay, hello.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ralph.
no, okay, going by what from our discussion, like when you asked me today if do I think if after my training I will get a job, yes, I was coming from somewhere because you know, most of us, we are always on a fast lane. We don't want to follow the basics, because when you finish a training and maybe possibly you are certified, you do your certification and you are certified, that you should not just conclude that you are going to get a job or maybe of 5 or 6 figures, right? Because you have to engage yourself somewhere to gather experience. That is the reason why the Indians are better than us. An Indian man can stay on a job with maybe just $200 in a month. But why is he doing it? He just wants to build himself.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Ralph. Are you done, Ralph?
I think his network is somehow.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
So we yes, go ahead, Ralph. Let's wrap up your comments.
Okay, I just want to advise some of us that maybe when you finish your training, you feel maybe you just going to get a job of maybe 6 figures. No, it's not the right thing, because you might get that job. You are not good on the job because you have not, as in kind of build yourself to bring out your best to that organization you want to work for. It's better we build ourselves before talking about the money. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Thank you very much. So let's go to the next slide. Thank you very much, Ralph. Okay, so again, if you are in a career or a job that is not aligned with your interests, what you will struggle with is that, one, it becomes a work for you. And I'm not sure we have people who are happy to work. I am not happy to work. I'm happy to do what I love. Okay? Then it's no longer work. It is me enjoying myself. Okay? And that is how you must start to align your interests. Okay? Let's go to the next one. I'm still now going to, when I get to a certain state, I'm now going to talk about, and you may need to pick your notes, take notes on certain things that you now need to do. Okay? So go to the next one, please. Good. This is what all of us wanted to work for. This is the reason we all want to work. Based on your comments here. Ralph, do you want to put your hand down? It should be paying you.
I'm forgetting that my hand is up.
Okay. Take it
I'm
down.
just joking. So, most people, this is what they work for. And that is why you see them not being fulfilled. Because they're just saying, look, I need to pay my rent. Just give me any job. Some of us have found ourselves in that situation before. Some of you will still find yourself in that situation because you want to be a financial analyst. It's not by joke. You need money. Unless you're under sponsorship, you need to raise the funds. All right? Go to the next slide. What is important is that you must not lose sight of what is important for you. Recently, someone that I know had to leave a bank job because she needed to focus on her PhD. That was the goal for her, the PhD. But the bank job was standing in her way. She started PhD when she joined the bank. 7 years after, she's still on the PhD. She had to leave the job so that she can focus on her PhD. That is what will give her fulfillment. Go to the next slide. So you must first of all understand that, one, if this job does not align with your interests, then you now need to give yourself a timeline to get what you want and move on. That's another thing. So, because I don't want you to find yourself in a situation whereby they're giving you an opportunity as a customer service person. That money would help you to develop yourself for instance, software engineering job. You're not saying, it doesn't align with my job, my professional, my career goal. I want to be a software engineer. I will not take the job. Where would you get the money to finance the certifications? Even if you have sponsorship, there's a limit. Even if you have unlimited sponsorship, what would you be doing with your time within that period until that software engineering job comes? But the key is, do not forget what you want, where you are going. That's the most important thing. All right? Go to the next slide. So, how you use your energy, how you use your resources, how you use your time, all culminate into what you call your lifestyle. And I think this is the right time to now talk about the key things that you must note. What is required in the workplace? I've mentioned knowledge of the Internet of Things. I've mentioned your ability to your presence on the internet, LinkedIn, professional
Network.
groups, LinkedIn network, professional network. I've mentioned LinkedIn. We have mentioned data science, knowledge of whatever data. The other things that are required now are, one, communication skills. You are required to have excellent communication skills. You must be able to speak coherently, logically. You must have what you call emotional intelligence. Some people in those days, we call it maturity, but it's beyond maturity. It's called emotional intelligence. Your ability to express yourself without hurting somebody else's feelings. That's emotional intelligence. So communication is key. Emotional intelligence is key. Presentation skills. I don't care whether you studied chemical engineering or you studied medicine. You must have presentation skills. And there are basic tools that we use these days that you must master. Excel. You must master Excel. And you must continue to learn. The truth is, most people, I was interviewing somebody recently, and I asked him, how would you rate yourself on Excel? And the guy said, I will rate myself 60%. I just asked the basics that I do with stress. I do it with stress. I go online when I get stocked. I go online. For instance, I say, how do you do if formula? How do you use if formula? I'll now go online and be checking. So I asked him, you rate yourself 60. How do you use if formula? How do you use VLOOKUP? How do you concatenate? How do you do pivot table? How do you sort data? And the guy said, he doesn't know how to do those ones. And he said he's 60%. He lost that job. I was going to recruit him into my team, but he lost that job because he didn't have what I needed. So these are skills that you must learn in addition to whatever you have learned in your sessions so far. These are skills that you cannot play with. And it doesn't matter. Age does not matter. Experience in the industry does not matter. You must have these things. You must be very, very comfortable with numbers. Okay? For somebody who is going to be a quality tester, I'm sure you understand what data would help you to do. All right? So, having said that, we now need to talk about your CV. Believe me, there is nothing special in CVs. I just keep updating information on my CV. The CV that I was using in 2014 is still the same CV that I use now. I just keep updating the information there. Because the truth of the matter is that, what do they need to know? They just need to see your information. Some people, they will design a CV as if it's a brochure. They will design colors, pictures in a CV as if they are graphic designers. Nobody cares. Oh. And remember, very few people sit to sort CVs manually these days. They have what you call applicant tracking system, ATS. Once you send in your CV, they just throw it into the platform. The keywords are what the ATS will pick. Will assign it to your name, and that's how people get shortlisted. So if you don't present your CV with the keywords, it's out. You're out. You have lost that opportunity. If you put pictures, graphics into your CV, you have lost that opportunity. Unless you are taking a role that, like for instance, you are taking a graphic designer role, you can design it as you want. There are not many people. But if you are taking other roles, what people want to see is the keyword. And when they eventually now see it, once the ATS screens you in, and they need to now review your CV, take note of these important things. What you have done, I'll get to that, Henry. What you have done, what you have achieved in line with what the employer is looking for would determine whether you will be called or not. What you have done, the past, what you have achieved, your past impact. Then lastly, what the employer is looking for. Now, when you talk about keywords, let's say we are looking for a financial planner, for instance, or a financial analyst, for instance. What are the keywords that you want to see in that person's CV, especially when they talk about their past jobs? You want to see whether things around analysis, you want to see things around advisory, you want to see things around planning, financial planning. You want to see things around all those things. If you are saying you want to take a job as an HR manager, they want to see things you've done around compensation and benefits. They want to see things around how you have managed HMO, disciplinary, labor law. Those are keywords they look for, and that's what the ATS looks for. And most employers will also talk about, if you go to LinkedIn, for instance, you will see they will say update your skills, update your skills. They will not be looking for skills. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, database management. Those are keywords. Okay, Henry, does that answer your questions? Does that answer your question? Good. So you must reflect your CV, all this in your CV. And that is why you must be careful that you do not repeat. You do not use the same CV for different jobs. I see some of us who just apply for instance, customer service job here, HR assistant there, data analyst here. You just send one same CV to all of them. Foul. You have lost it. Foul. You have lost it. So what should you do? You look at your CV, you look at the opportunity or the job that is available. If it's something you have done before, you now realign your job, your past jobs. You are not lying, no, to reflect what they are looking for. Because by the time they start to ask you questions, it's either you pass or you fail. And if you don't have the experience, you're already out of the door. All right, go to the next slide, please. Okay, so now let's look at how the global economy has impacted Nigeria. All right, let's look at how the global economy has impacted the Nigerian market now. You are now able to, for instance, when the war in Russia started, crude oil prices went up. Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. But when crude oil prices went up, Nigeria started to have problems with their own economy. Do you know why? And I'll tell you the reason quickly. The reason is this: Nigeria does not produce crude. So Nigeria sells crude at, let's say, $60 per barrel to Oyibos. The same 1 barrel that you sold to Oyibo is going to sell it back to you in different components: petrol here, diesel here, lubricants here, at $130. So 1 barrel, $50. You are buying it back in different form at $130. Is that not a recipe for disaster?
Sure.
That means you are spending more than you are earning. That is the basis for this scarcity of dollars. That is the basis for high price of goods, because we import practically everything. I worked in the port for 6 years. I remember people imported sand, water into the country. That's how your dollars become scarce. That is how the global economy has impacted everything we do here. Okay, go to the next slide, please. Okay, and you should consider all of this. Go to the next slide. You should consider all of this when you are considering your next steps, because it's important. All right. For instance, if you are working in an oil servicing industry, if you were working there some 5 years ago, it will be tough for you to continue to still be working there now. A couple of our friends who work in those places have run away because it's no longer lucrative here. All right. But some of us will say, oh, it's still very lucrative. Shell, the biggest oil business in one of the biggest in the world, has practically divested from Nigeria. They've sold. They are saying in a couple of years, we may not be able to, oil may not be important again. Look at what Elon Musk is doing with, is it Tesla?
Yes.
Look at what he's doing. Very soon, maybe it will only be industries that will be requiring fuel. Nigeria, where people who drive their personal cars may not. So you must consistently follow what is going on in the world of work so that you can see how you align. For instance, I go for interviews. When they call me, they reach out to me for opportunities. I say, yes, set up an interview. Not necessarily because I'm looking to change job, but because I want to be sure that my skills are still aligned or in alignment with what the world requires. So I do that regularly. I must have such opportunities at least 4 to 6 times a year. All right? Your understanding of the economy would help you to know what more other skills you need to add to your knowledge to be competitive. All these things that I'm saying here is all about you being competitive in the world of work. All right? So let's go to the next slide. So like I said, I've talked about this severally. The world of work is changing. We have people who live in Nigeria and they work for companies abroad. And they don't leave Nigeria. They stay in Nigeria. They have never left Nigeria, but they service organizations abroad. Skill, knowledge, experience, that's what brings such. So what I'm telling you now is that the world is no longer separated by borders. That is just politics. The separation has been removed. We are now in a borderless world. So I see some of you getting employment elsewhere, outside Nigeria, and you still be working in Nigeria. So when you are developing yourself, when you are looking at what you want, go online also. Check for the requirement for the kind of job you want in different parts of the world so that you can align it. You are not only focusing on what they need in Nigeria. And the truth of the matter is that employers don't even look at what you have again. If an employer is going to put up a job posting, they will check online, go online and see what is required of that job globally. Then they will put it together and share. I just gave you an expo. All right? And that's the way it works. Okay? So in wrapping up, I think we should quickly wrap up now. In wrapping up, I have talked to you about what needs to change. I have talked to you about what you need to change. I've talked to you about the skills you need to have. I've talked to you about what you need to look out for. I've talked to you about how to align your interest with your career. Okay? So I'm able to take your questions now. Everything that is left in this slide are things that I have spoken already about. So I'm able to take your questions now. Akim.
Yeah. If you have a question,
want to moderate this now?
Yeah. If you have a question,
I think
you can raise up your hand.
Do you think I have covered enough for you to be able to? I'd like to have your answers, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omole, for your time and deep insight into the world of work. So I think at this time, if you have question, please let's raise up our hand so I can pick the question one after the other. So if you don't have any question, if you have
somebody
a short comment, you can go ahead, raise up your hand. Let's take your comment. Okay, is there any website for? Okay, I think there's a question from Kazim. Is there any website for job hunting internationally? Mr. Omole.
Yes,
there's a question directly from
there are websites for job internationally. But for me, my advice is always LinkedIn, because that's where everybody is. Everybody in this world, in the world of work, is on LinkedIn. So that's my honest advice. Don't do so much. Connect yourself on LinkedIn and drive yourself.
Okay.
LinkedIn is the best.
Adenike is asking, can I connect with you on LinkedIn for job opportunity?
Well, you don't need to ask me. Just connect me on LinkedIn. I'm always very available. I don't reject any connection. I accept.
So I'm going to share your LinkedIn profile with them after the session. So I will check your LinkedIn profile and share with them. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there are companies that train applicants who are tech savvy or who are interested in tech. I think Andela does that. Tech Experts does that, and there are a couple of them. Yeah, okay. I'm a young undergraduate with just little work experience. Reflect that work experience on your CV. That's all. That's all you have. You only push what you have. You don't push what you don't have. Okay, somebody said that if I have to write my CV now, maybe to investment bank, do I need to include my first degree, which is medicine, or do I start from my PGD and MBA finance and exclude medicine? Include medicine. What medicine has helped you to do, medicine gives you the opportunity to voraciously consume data. That's the ability that medical doctors have, or anybody who has studied medicine, because they read all the time. So what that tells us is that you have the capability to handle numbers. So don't take it out. Don't take it out, okay? Somebody said, what are the platforms for voluntary works, as you mentioned? Also on LinkedIn, you can just type for internship, freelance opportunities in whatever area you want, you will see it there. Okay, Tino, I'm going to add, I would accept you. I will accept you. I would accept you. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. Apart from following me, you can connect with me directly. Just add me. I would accept it. All right, good. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I hope it has been an interesting session for you. I think we did about 30 minutes longer than what we thought, but it's fine. It's all good. It's important that we talk about what is fundamental first before anything.
Thank you very much. I think it's time we have to call it a day. It's been a wonderful session. We really appreciate Mr. Yugoke for your time and your advice for us. And I think most of us who are already in doubt on how to get job, we can see that it's not just that you want to get a job. You must know why you are getting job and what kind of job you are looking for. What will make you fulfilled? And are you just looking for work or job, or you want to build a career? I think all these have been taken care of. And at the same time, as regard your CV, we've been able to learn what should be in our CV. That is, you don't use a single CV for all sort of jobs. That is, you look at the requirement. You see an advert. These are the requirements. Look at the requirement. Ensure that some of the key terms requirement are also find a way of including them into your CV without lying. You know, you mentioned that without lying, because by the time you get to the job, it may be difficult to defend when you lie. You get it now. So thank you very much. And I think I'm going to share your LinkedIn profile with them as promised. And I believe they will connect with you. And if there's any question or an area of interest, they will actually get across to you. Thank you very much. And I want to thank everyone also
You're welcome. You're welcome.
for taking your time today. And I believe that we've learned one thing or the other. Thank you very much. So our class continues tomorrow. We pray there is calmness after the election. We're going to start our class tomorrow at the normal time. Please, let's keep our time and continue with our own career. The people who are doing election, that is their own career, their career path. They are following that. So we should not trade our own career path and our future for somebody's life too. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you all. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Thank you very much.